To be a successful business, you need to operate that business with a process that allows you to be efficient. People found them on TikTok and, oh my God, you have no website. Most of this stuff is very simple, but people just don't know.
DIY. Artists that are not in a major label ecosystem, what do you see them doing from a promotional standpoint that is just not going to gain them traction? Because I know that you get hit with a lot of this stuff.
I think we should just start with the basics, right? You have to be organized. I love that you framed independent artists as businesses. That's what you are. You're a business. And so any well-run business needs to be organized and needs to be efficient and needs to have a process. To be a successful business, you need to operate that business with a process that allows you to be efficient, functional, and productive. And often when artists are in the midst of either ideating, creating, or getting ready to release, it's a very fly by the seat of your pants approach. Throw shit out, see what sticks, figure it out on the go. No successful business does it. You figure out what your end goal is, and then you reverse engineer your entire plan. And you literally work backward. You need to figure out how to strategize your brand alignment. That could include your website, your social media, your profiles on streaming platforms. Do you have new profile photos? Are they consistent across every platform? Is your contact information readily available on all these platforms? Are you linking your accounts to and from each platform effectively so that if someone's first point of contact with you is on one platform, can they easily navigate to another to either listen to your music, find out more about you, follow you, etc. And so just getting organized so that you're set up for success, I think is the fatal flaw so many artists have. And then trying to do it on the go once something pops off or you're already out ahead is very difficult.
Yeah.
That's why so many artists, they have these moments of virality and they're so short-lived because they were completely caught off guard. They did not do the prerequisite work so that when that actually happened, they were set up for success. People found them on TikTok and, oh my God, you have no website and you have no social presence and we don't know how to get a hold of you. And now you're working backward. The problem that most artists have is that they're not doing the basics really well. Because if you do the basics really well, you're already out ahead of it.
I can't tell you how many artists will approach me about, why is this not selling? And I could easily just go to the link tree and say, well, first of all, the link is broken. Like the very link that you're telling people, the link in bio is broken, or maybe they haven't seen if their website is mobile friendly, or just things that are like, I think when you're so deep in the weeds, it's so easy to like ignore the very foundational things. Like, is your website built for the kind of traffic that you're trying to go after?
I mean, look at it this way, right? So like, let's say you and I went into business together and we opened up a cupcake shop. Does that sound good? Would you be interested in opening up a cupcake shop with me?
I'm with you. Let's go do it.
All right. So you do all the work to set up the cupcake shop. If you don't register with Google Business, no one's going to find out that you have a cupcake shop in your neighborhood, right? So just that one small task is so necessary so that when people are looking for what you have to offer, they can easily find you. They can navigate to your website. There's a phone number to contact you at. I literally run into this problem every day. I discover artists on social media or other platforms. I recognize that they're not on AudioMac. I attempt to find them on another platform that has their contact information listed so I can find out who their distribution service is or if they don't have one. And they have nothing listed and they have their DMs closed. They're effectively shutting themselves off from outside communication. And so, you know, don't set yourself up to be unapproachable by not ensuring that people know and can communicate with you. Most of this stuff is very simple, but people just don't know.
What's going on with you, DIYers? Thank you so much for choosing to watch this video. One thing I want to give you a heads up of is that I just released my project called Storm Symphony with my good friend Aaron Barber. Why should you care? Because I know you didn't come here for my music. You probably came for the content. If you're a rapper or a music producer, there are added bonuses for you actually purchasing the album. If you're a producer, every sample that you hear that was composed originally by Aaron Barber, you will get a royalty-free pack of 10 melodic loops that you can use royalty-free for your beats to sell, your own music, and all that good stuff. Also, FL Studio has partnered with me to give out 5 copies of FL Studio for those of you that want to start off your production career. But Curtis, I don't know how to use FL Studio. How the hell would that benefit from that? Well, along with one of the other tiers, you're also going to get my FL Studio Beginners course. So this is the way that I am incentivizing those of you that actually still buy music, because you know what? Fine art still sells. And I made some fine ass art on this project that I think you're going to really, really enjoy. Make sure that you go to curtisking.com for more information. Now back to the video. And I would argue, before anybody who's listening to this says like, oh, of course I take care of that. For somebody like myself, I've been doing this for 20 years and there's still things that thank God I have other eyes on what I'm doing, like people that are part of my team, because had it not been for them, it's like, I can't believe I messed that up. There's no way I do all of this advanced complex work. We've done all the pre-planning. We've got the execution on this part. But the one thing, for instance, going live with our live stream ahead of time, I had everything planned out. You know, we did everything in terms of the organization. I prepared in terms of the topics I wanted to talk about. My video editor shoots me a text message this morning. He's like, man, I can't wait to see this interview. Too bad that trailer's not for this interview. And I was like, there's no way. But when you have your hands in so many different things, it's very easy to miss out on those things that are otherwise very, very easy to not do right. So I would say that applies to all of us at some level, especially if we're doing everything ourselves. The tribe that we have here, we call ourselves DIYers. I always explain this, and that we're not DIYers because we say F everybody, F the system and all. We're saying, I attempted to ask this person for help. I attempted to even pay for it. But I'm at a stage where people need to see the evidence or the proof of concept. And so I asked this person, you know what? I need to get started myself, and I have no issue doing these things myself so that I can generate some cash flow and then delegate those to the proper people. I guess the segue to that is, for someone who is dealing with a smaller budget, or maybe that's just their 9-to-5, how can they kind of figure out a way to get more eyes and optics on their work and, I guess, sort of build out their team, or at the very least, independent freelancers?
Great question. I think there's a lot of confusion over who the most valuable first member of a team is. The question I get most readily on social media is, how do I get an artist manager? And my common response to that is, you don't want to be the one pursuing an artist manager. You want someone to find you and want to work with you. Just like it's best if a label pursues you as opposed to you pursuing the label.
Right.
The first member of your team should be someone to help you oversee your social media. If you can find someone to unburden you from having to oversee all of these platforms, having to create engagement and engaging content daily, that'll be a huge lift, because just platform maintenance alone takes up a tremendous amount of bandwidth.
Sure.
And it's mentally taxing and extremely stressful and anxiety inducing. You don't need to be an artist to feel all of those things. I'm not, and I feel that way half the time. Plus, it almost shelters you from the toxicity and allows you to focus that valuable time into creating your music,
the thing that means the
and
most.
all of the original content that is being manufactured in support of the music, and obviously not to lose sight of that. Now, the next question logically would then be, how do I find that person? Well, if you're an artist and you've gained a fandom, which is different from a following, right? A fandom are people who are willing to go see you live. They're people who are buying your merch. They're buying digital copies of your album or exclusive vinyl releases. They're doing more than just clicking follow on a platform. You'd be surprised how many of these people, just to say that they're in your orbit, would be willing to be a part of your team at the very beginning for free $99.
Yeah.
So many artists have utilized fans as the first member of their team to fulfill some capacity. You're growing together. They could end up being a long-term solution for you or not. Yeah. But in the interim, it's a quick and easy solution that allows you to endear yourself to someone who loves your music and is no or low cost. And you probably found them on social media, so you can tell pretty quickly whether or not they're savvy enough and that you trust them enough to oversee your platform.
DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.